Wonder who's the fourth gonna be. There's the fourth, Cat's Mike. But apparently, from my childhood days, I heard second is best. First is worst, second is best. Third is... or is third worst? I totally forgot. Dude, Ned, check out my animation. That's what I made it for. Because a lot of people have been asking, you know, what strings, what racket, what tension I'm stringing at. So I decided to make these things for you guys. Literally from scratch. Yeah, it's a V-Core Pro. Friend of mine dropped it off on Tuesday. Luckily, she was not in a rush. But I've just been so busy with... It's not even like my full-time job kind of work. It's just a lot of things on the side with YouTube and actually World of Warcraft, the video game I play, that's been having me push back the vocal V-square video. I know I promised, I tried to at least. I don't think I ever promised it, but said I'll have it out by today, but unfortunately not. So I'm gonna write the script sometime tonight before I go to bed. Record it tomorrow, along with my weekly Q&A, and hopefully get out to you guys by Saturday night. And then I also have 2 match plays I have to do. One tomorrow right after work, and then one Saturday, you know, this Saturday. So that's gonna be a lot of content I'm gonna be pumping out for you guys, on top of my regular stuff I have to do. I haven't put away my laundry yet that I've done on Monday. It's just sitting on my couch, so gotta get myself together, guys. Apparently, I'm a busy man. Okay. Matt, you're asking... Whoops. There we go. Man. Whoops. Ugh. So, Matt, you're asking to share how I fix scratches on the frame. Does it affect performance? Paintings, like the paint chips, they really don't matter. I mean, it's just purely cosmetic. It's really not an issue. But again, I would suggest that if you really think it's like an internal crack of the frame, to not string it, just give it back for the safety of you. Cat's Mike, what's hydro dipping? KGB, it's fine. I make typos all the time. Zach Brown, you're saying I have a nice knot. Thank you very much. And yes, Javi. Gotta represent, my friend. Gotta represent. Nick Naris, I hope you're staying safe and healthy too, my friend. Yeah, it's a new logo. I got it from a guy at Fiverr. I paid $170 or something for this logo. But I'm really happy with it. But obviously, I had to animate this. So obviously, it's kind of in a loop right now. Kind of like how I animated what racket and what strings at what tension I'm doing. I did that all myself. Jeremy Fan, feel is how confident you are for going for finesse shots, like drop shots from the baseline or maybe a short angle volley. Obviously, a better string for feel / touch, feel and touch, in my opinion, are interchangeable. Jeremy Fan, feel and touch are probably better suited for multi-filaments instead of polyesters for strings. David Hockett, I have not seen the cosmetic to the head gravity line. I haven't researched any head rackets heavily. And the gravity line is, I totally forgot it exists. You know, that's Zverev's racket. I mean, I'm not saying I hate Zverev. I mean, I hate his second serve, and I think he has a crappy attitude, in all honesty. He's very egotistical, more egotistical than me. I just don't care for it, to be honest. It doesn't seem to be a good racket for me as a player, but obviously for people out there, Head, the company, feels like they could profit off of the gravity line. Satish P, you're asking what is the best string combo for the Babolat Pure Drive 2021. Well, it depends on your game style. That's a pretty broad question. I mean, do you want polys? Do you want hybrids? Do you want multi-filaments? What's your play style? It does vary. What's up, Rainier? Matt, I was previously using, for overgrips, I was previously using, what was it? The Turnigrip, the dry one, but it was actually giving me arm problems because I wasn't used to the feeling. So I felt like I was holding to the grip tighter than normal when I didn't need to. So I switched back to the Gamma Supreme Overgrip is a pretty big one. It's a little bit thick. Like it feels pretty thick, but it's the Gamma Super Overgrip is a pretty good one. And then the Yonex Super Grap is also a very good one to try for overgrips. Oh, nice, Cat's Mike. So, yeah, you could definitely make your own paint job. Yeah. Awesome. Rainier Tennis, I don't know how Ian colored his rackets. You're asking how Ian covered his racket. Yeah, Faceless Man, you're asking about Link's Tour. I've heard very good things about it. I just haven't had the time because when I play test, it takes about, probably around 3 to 4 hitting sessions at an hour and a half each to get a nice feel for it, to kind of test the tension loss. And then I've got the scripting, which takes about 30 minutes to do. And then I've also got the racket to string, which takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And then the editing and publishing, which takes about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the length of the video. Babolat Rackets, along with Wilson, have so this is Permander, right? You're asking what I think of Babolat Rackets. So Babolat Rackets obviously sell very, very well. They've done a very good job with Andy Roddick back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and they've picked up a gold mine with Rafael Nadal endorsing the Pure Aero, but they're Babolat's quality control is shit. It's arguably the worst based on anecdotal experience. I can't say for statistical experience, but on anecdotal experience with the several lines of Babolat rackets I've had used, almost all of them had a squeaky butt cap about 3 months in. So I had to reinforce the butt cap, unfortunately, because it was very squeaky and very annoying. Cat's Mike, the Pros Pro Interceptor won the poll over the T1 Black Knight. Dad Boy, what's up, man? Dad Boy 05, I've got Shea Su Wei winning the women's singles draw, and then either Nick Kyrgios or Dominic Thiem winning the men's. I have not tried the Ultra Cable String, Jose P, but it is definitely on my list. Chris Kim, you're asking for any recommendations for a racket switch from the Babolat Aero Pure Drive 2013. Ooh, that's an old racket. To something less powered, but with spin and control. Let's see. With spin and control, but less power. Don't do the Pure Drive, because it's all power, not so much on spin. Definitely no control. Let's see. To be honest, try any of the Yonex 98s or maybe even the Wilson Blade 16 by 19. I would try that, Chris Kim. Cats Mike, so you're asking, do you really think Kyrgios can play his best tennis for so many matches? You know, assuming you're alluding to the Australian Open. And I did talk about this in my Discord channel, I believe in the Just Chatting section, which is a text chat. And I think so. If there's any tournament that Nick Kyrgios can be able to string matches together in a fortnight, in a Grand Slam format, I think it's the Australian Open. Not Wimbledon, definitely not the French Open, and not the US Open, because he's too burned out. Matt, why don't I use dampeners? I don't use dampeners because I lose them all the time. Whether it's kind of stumbling in my bag or if I'm switching strings and, you know, I forget to do it. And also, I actually have started to like the feel of not having a dampener. I like the feedback that the strings in a racket give me without a dampener. It's very, it's undampened. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. Like, it's a pure feeling of the feedback. Because with a dampener, even if I do slightly mishit it, sometimes a dampener kind of takes away that feeling going from the racket to my arms to my brain using my nervous system. I don't register that as a slight mishit. So I like the pure feeling of it. Zach Brown, so you're switching from the Pure Arrow to the Wilson RF97. Good luck, my man. Those are very different rackets. Nick Naris, you're asking how many rackets I keep in my tennis bag before matches and, you know, tournaments, I'm assuming, and in a competitive setting. 4. Back in college, I used to have 5 rackets with the same setup. Karen, you have a 2nd-gen Aero Pure drive that sits in your closet. Keep that in your closet and sell it for a couple thousand on eBay 10 years down the line, Karen, and send me half the money. You're welcome. Satish P, you're asking about the suggestion for the Pure Drive 2021. You're an aggressive baseliner. I would actually try... Let's see. Try either the Solinco Confidential or the Solinco Hyper G at a lower tension for a full bed and see how that is, Satish P. Let me know how that is. Dejan, I know you're a high-level tennis player. I think you're, what, a 12 UTR? But yeah, apparently the Wilson Clash is a damn good racket. It's powerful, it's flexible, it's comfortable, spin-friendly. Yeah, but... Permander, what's my experience with lead tape? I used to use it back in the day, but I've gotten a little bit weaker because I'm getting older and I'm not playing as much tennis along with strength training as much as I want to. I'll put a smidgen on it every now and then, but not in the past year and a half, just because I've been playing in stock form recently. But I am starting to get stronger with my legs and upper body, so I might play around with some lead tape down in the near future. Zachary Tang, what's the most comfortable string I've ever tried? It is most definitely natural gut, but it's not worth it. Karen, the Yonex V-Core 97 HD, how is the spin potential on that? Because that's a 97 square inch frame, a fairly flexible one, but it's a closed string pattern. Vishek Patel, you're asking if I've ever tried the Wilson Blade Pro. I have not yet, but I'm on the lookout for it to demo along with the Wilson. No, not Wilson. So I want to demo the Wilson Blade Pro. I do want to demo the Yonex the Yonex E-Zone 98 Tour, and also one of the Wilson Clashes. I don't know which one yet. Yeah, Permander. Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming, he's doing some really cool stuff right now. So everything I've learned about YouTube content creation and live streaming was actually attributed to him. So, I'm glad that you found him. If you guys are ever thinking about being a YouTuber or a streamer, I would highly suggest you check out Alpha Gaming on YouTube. He's got some really cool stuff. Everything that I've bought, everything that I've researched, everything that I've set up, and the way I think about content creation on YouTube, which is, how you guys found me, either that or Essential Tennis, that I learned it from Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming. I have not tried, Victor Adonov, I have not tried the ISOSpeed Pyramid yet. Oh, sweet. I could change the information text on the fly. I thought I would have to like reload or something. That's pretty cool. Ugh, integrals. I hated those. Derivatives are easy. Integrals suck. Bill Bong, you're asking if I have a player I base my game off of. A little bit like Dominic Thiem, I would say. Obviously not nearly as talented. Maybe even Babrinka. Kind of rely on standing behind the baseline and just slapping the crap out of it with some loopy balls. No. Damn it. Sometimes that happens at higher tensions. My buddy wants it at 60. So I gotta be a little bit more careful. 60 with synthetic gut. Oh, we got coders in here. How many people here are programming or thinking about being software developers? Anti-derivative gang. Gang, gang. Let's see. Yeah, Karen, I was talking to your buddy, the one that is in the video game industry, and yeah, I'm glad I'm a developer, like I'm a programmer, but I'm glad I'm not a programmer for the video game industry because apparently it doesn't pay well at all. You guys want to know what I've been kind of doing lately? Because I am gonna buy a Tesla sometime. I think around Q3. And no, not this. Like I find myself every day at work, just like building like a Tesla that I want to buy. Obviously, I can't buy the Plaid Plus version, but you know, regular long range Tesla Model S would be pretty sweet. And I was thinking probably not black. I was thinking either the silver or the red. And for some reason, the red is, you know, 2,500. It's $1,000 more than that. But white isn't too bad either at all. The silver is looking pretty sexy along with the red. And then I would get the arachnid wheels, 4,500. And then interior, I'm actually fine with the black. I wouldn't mind it. I love this steering wheel. It's like a racing steering wheel. It's pretty sick. No autopilot. Man. That's so sick. Continue with payment. Yeah, right. And then with the Model 3... Model 3 is obviously a lot more affordable. Order now. I'll definitely get the performance. Only 54. That's not bad at all. I'd probably get silver in this one. Then interior. Probably fine with all black. Continue to payment. I'm not a big white interior type of guy, in all honesty. It's just not, I don't like it. Want to see how expensive we can make this, guys? Let's see. Cream? There's like almost no difference between cream and white. Probably go black with this one, or white with this one. I'll give you white on this one. Yeah, why not add... Who wants to give me 153,490 bucks? Oh, man. So I was thinking, because I'm running out of... I still have a lot of ISO speed baseline control, right? And, you know, that's never going to be a problem. Because I think I have 3 reels. But I don't know what to buy for my tennis strings, guys. My tournament tennis strings. I just don't know. I like this song from Harris Heller. Oh, there it is. I couldn't find it for some reason. Thanks, Datboy05. That's part of the electricity bill for the Tesla when I charge it for like half a day. Yeah, boy. Should I go with the confidential again? Abdul Hu, you're asking about switching to a slightly bigger head size. To be honest, I would say no. A lot of it is footwork. If you're hitting it just outside the sweet spot, you're either too close or you're too far away from the ball. Elias Rue, where'd you buy the ISO speed? Is it the baseline control or is it something else? Elias Rue, I'm glad you got a real ISO speed because apparently Tennis Warehouse they were sold out, I think until like March. That's what I saw. But here's the thing, right? And I previously said that I love Tennis Warehouse, and I will. You guys have to give them credit. They did take down that MSRP BS on the Onyx frames within 24 hours of me releasing the video. So you got to give them props for that. I still personally think Tennis Warehouse, out of the big three retailers for tennis, is still above Midwest Express or Midwest Sports and Tennis Express. That's my personal opinion, right? A lot of people gave me flack. A lot of people threw shade at me because they didn't like the way I kind of like presented the MSRP versus I think this is the MAP, the minimum advertised price, right? So I do understand, given that I have been in the business world for quite a long time, and you're always going to be in the business world if you're employed. You know, it's just, are you going to be educated about it? So Yonex does determine the MSRP, right? And Tennis Warehouse cannot change that, right? MSRP, manufacturing suggested retail price, is set by Yonex, the manufacturer. I just didn't like how Tennis Warehouse had that text crossed out of 305 and then that 239 being right above it, right? I'm still shopping at Tennis Warehouse, as you guys can see. I still very much am. And I'm talking with Tennis Warehouse not as we speak, but like I'm in communication with them, because most people don't understand that you could still love something, but still be critical of them. I would even argue that if you're in love with an idea, if you're in love with a person, or if you're in love with a company, and you're not giving critical feedback in a constructive way, which in my opinion, I did, then you're just kind of blindly following. You have to be critical about everything that you love. Okay, that's companies, that's people, and a lot of people fail in this last one, relationships. All right. So I don't want you guys to think that Tennis Warehouse is a horrible, horrible company. They're a good company. They've done a great service to the tennis industry worldwide. I just didn't like that practice that they set up, and that's why I made that video. Quality. So you're asking how often I restring my rackets. So in a normal situation, if I'm not playtesting, like if I'm not on the time crunch, I string my rackets when they break. It's just the way I do things. Unless there's like a huge tournament coming up, then I'll restring all 4 of my rackets, or the racket that I think is, has lost tension the most. But I typically don't restring until they break. Yeah, Mo Matza. So a buddy of mine, I do play pickleball, and I used to play at an open level about 3 years ago. So a buddy of mine who also went to Whitewater, his name's Zane Navratil. He's literally 10 minutes away from me. He's still in the Milwaukee area. He's number four ranked in the world in pickleball. So me and him are, I kind of talked to him. I'm like, hey dude, you only have 419 subscribers. By the way, guys, if you guys play pickleball, please follow Zane on either Instagram and or YouTube or even Facebook, because he's got some good stuff. I'm just trying to egg him on to be like, dude, just do the YouTube thing for pickleball, because you're literally number 4 in the world and people will listen to you. So what he does, he actually quit his CPA job, his accounting job, and he got paid really good money doing that. And now he's doing pickleball full time, and he's making a lot more money doing it, and he's having a lot more fun. You can even see he used to play tennis. He won state in Wisconsin, and he's playing with a buddy of mine, Scott, who I'll be featuring on my channel relatively soon. But he obviously hasn't played tennis in a somewhat competitive setting in a while. But he is the number 4 ranked pickleball player in the world right now, and he's absolutely amazing. And I wish him the best. So I think when I do quit my full-time job and do YouTube, I might help Zane with the YouTube content creation, and maybe be his editor or his main cameraman for some of the clinics that he does. Because if he's number 4 in the world, put it this way, if Stan Wawrinka was number 4 in the world and he made a YouTube channel on tutorials of tennis, you're damn well gonna follow him, right? Well, it's the exact same thing with pickleball. Pickleball is growing like crazy. So, good for him. Yeah, Rainier Tennis. So yeah, that's one of the things that is kind of hard. If I ever were to build my own tennis club, it's one of those things I have to discuss with the shareholders about, hey, this is a tennis club. Are we going to have, the ability to do pickleball. Because don't get me wrong, pickleball is actually really fun. It's a hell of a workout. Singles pickleball at a high level is more of a cardio workout than singles tennis, in my personal opinion and my experience. But indoor tennis, it's not even for me the hollering and yelling of indoor tennis. It's the idea that the clank, 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 clank of the wiffle ball hitting the paddle in pickleball is super annoying. It just takes you out of like the experience of, you know, playing tennis, because you're expecting to hear, you know, people yelling, but you're expecting the deep thud of a tennis ball hitting the strings, right? But you get completely taken off guard because it's like, what the hell is that clank clank sound? And it's, oh wait, it's pickleball, like a chord or two down. So yeah, that is tough to kind of get over. Oh yeah, use the site. I'm planning on quitting my full-time job to do YouTube full-time. Absolutely, it's no secret. ISO speed baseline spin. Is that the 16 L gauge or 17? Because I know they have different names for the same string. Where is it? W Blue. So what price? What prop or what price aside, what would you recommend for someone that is a baseline player? Any shape cold poly is fine. I would say that the Solinco Hyper G or the Solinco Confidential are damn good strings, even if price is not a problem. Baseline speed, spin. Okay, set. Ooh, that's a thin gauge. I would break that in possibly 1.5 hitting sessions. Oh, good. They have it back in... Oh, nope. February 15th. Sorry, guys. I messed that up for you. Use the side hoe. As of now, I'm not making... You know, I'm making money, obviously, but not that much. But it's the idea of momentum where... I don't want to disclose how much I make. But... 1 second. So in my dashboard, this is what I see, right? So in the last 28 days, the last month, I've gained that many subscribers. So if I keep going with this momentum, let's see. So 2,000. So in the last month, I've increased my subscriber base literally 81%. So if I could keep doing around that 50 to 81%, there's no reason why. I mean, I would argue I'd be stupid if I didn't do this full time. So that's my reasoning behind it. And apparently, you know, people like me. I mean, you guys are here. I'm assuming most of you like me. I'm assuming the other people that don't like me are here just to make fun of me, which is perfectly fine. Just leave it off of chat. So, yeah, there's an opportunity for me to do this full time, and I actually even talked to my boss today. I have more fun doing this instead of programming. It's a lot more fun hanging out with you guys. WBlue10, you're asking, we'd recommend the RPM Blast or the Solinco Hyper G or the Solinco Confidential. If you want comfort, stick with the RPM Blast. If you want spin potential and bite on the ball, do one of those Solinco strings. Yeah, Thank you, Elias. I mean, that's kind of what I do. I'm a consumer-friendly channel. That's why, as I said several times, I say this every day to people in chat, in the comments, or to myself. I'll never take endorsements, sponsorships, or even discounts from tennis racket manufacturers or tennis string manufacturers, because if I do, I'll be unbiased, or I'll not be unbiased anymore. I'll have a bias to it. Yeah, so for the people that are here, based on Elias's feedback, thank you. Like, I am honest. And will I be wrong? Absolutely, I'll be wrong. I'm wrong most of the time. But, I'm doing this in an honest fashion. Like, yes, I do have a slightly different personality in a business meeting versus on my YouTube streams or my YouTube videos. But it's still me. Like, with an essential tennis example, right? I have an essential tennis match, I think March 10th against Michael, who lost to Cole in a recent singles match. But when it comes to essential tennis, it's still me, but I kind of forced myself to be a little bit more vocal because it's best for Essential Tennis's channel for me to be a little bit more vocal. People find that a little bit more entertaining. Obviously, in a real tournament situation, I'm not like that, but those thoughts that I vocalize on Essential Tennis do still go through my head. But it benefits almost everybody viewing on Essential Tennis that if I take some of those thoughts that aren't swear words, that most aren't swear words, and I vocalize it out loud, because that's the setup. Christian, I think Ian uses the Wilson Burn 99 or 95 FST. It's a very old racket. So when he does switch rackets, I will definitely consult with him on what's best. Vishek Patel, yes, I am interested in partnering with the tennis shop. But obviously I have to do it carefully because I don't want discounts from tennis string or tennis racket manufacturers. But yes, I would heavily consider that. Yeah, Rainier Tennis, it's one of those things too where I know, I think Acing Tennis did a stream recently. And it was pretty good. I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I had to play tennis with Brian. And, Ian from Essential Tennis does live streams every once in a while. But I actually think I might be the only, tennis YouTuber that streams on a very, very, very regular basis. So, it gives me an opportunity to answer questions from you guys. Obviously, I like hanging out with you. Obviously, it's a client retention thing. I mean, I'm not sugarcoating this. I look forward to this part of my day. Like today, I woke up, did some programming. That was about it. I got a lot of stuff done, actually, but it's because I knew how to kind of futz around with the system. I knew what needed to get done. I got it done fairly quickly. Made some phone calls to the bank because I forgot to pay a credit card. Oops. Whatever, my credit score is more than fine. But, and after that, I worked out. But it's one of those things where, I'm working out, I'm in business meetings, I'm at work, I'm doing okay. I'd rather do this. I find better enjoyment doing this rather than almost any part of my day, except for maybe playing tennis. But obviously I didn't play tennis today. So I do enjoy this, which is why, if I do this right, I can't wait to do this full time. Zach Brown, as I said, I will not be a Yonex or Wilson ambassador. Ever. Josh, it depends. Because the old school Babolat, I'm talking 2002, 2003 Babolots, they were made very, very well. And I believe, I actually am with you on this, where for the most part, the quality control and the materials being used in rackets now are much, much worse off than they were back then. Permander, so you're asking if a tennis string company sponsored me, would I change my review and opinion of the string? I mean, I'll try not to, but the issue is if someone gives me something for free, I'm going to tend to like that person better than a person that didn't give me something for free. That's why I don't want to do it. Zach Brown, so you're asking about advice on what to do to grow a YouTube channel. Go to Alpha Gaming on YouTube and listen to him. His name is Harris Heller. He's actually the guy that produced the music that you guys are hearing right now softly in the background. It's lo-fi, but he's got some very, very good points. And the reason why I am where I am now, even at a part-time basis, with all the crazy stuff I do, I would attribute mainly to him. And also a little bit of essential tennis as well. Staley T, what is my current racket? The Yonex E-Zone 98 2020 version is what I use. I use stock form. Vishek Patel, I highly suggest you don't start sniffing Yonex strings fresh out of the pack. It's probably not a good chemical for the human body, but that's my opinion. You do you. Sure, Vishek Patel, send me an email. I'd be more than happy to discuss with you. That's not a problem. My email should be in the About page of my YouTube channel. Not a problem at all. Yeah, I could make a video on that sometime in the near future, but for me, I always use the 2 index fingers and I go up and down. And I trade off the pressure between my left, which is the bottom, and the right one. And, you know, obviously, people said, you know, a lot of practice. Yeah, Elias Ryu, I would highly suggest, yeah, don't, that's bad. Don't sniff the, don't do a whippet, if you guys know what that is. I haven't had, Zach Brown, you're asking what my opinion is on the Oreo cookie sandwich. Never had it before. So, see, now you're making me hungry for Taco Bell and ice cream. Damn. Starving. Cricket powder? I actually think, I did hear somewhere, that bugs and crickets are the best source of protein, like pound for pound. I wouldn't do it because that's not my thing, but I did hear about that. This clamp is actually starting to get loose on the base. I gotta fix that soon. No. Damn it. It's always the starting and the stopping that gets you. Always. There we go. Nightmare. Yeah, the Pathfinder Owls they're good. Obviously, you know, I don't have one, otherwise I would have used it. But that type of situation is like pretty rare. It only happens with this racket and I think maybe one other one. That normally happens actually with synthetic guts because they're softer, where if it's polys, whether it's round or shaped, you know, it's a lot stiffer. You can really just force it in there and it goes through. So yeah. No, Omar Corey, I don't raise attention on the last string before tying the knots. I know a lot of people do, but for me, I normally don't. I just tie them pretty well. And yes, Marcus Willis is the GOAT, along with Safin. Should I really rewatch it? Where is this? Talking about my hair? Saito, I suggest you don't do that type of drug. I don't know. I'm surprised you're able to type that out and not get automatically censored. Yeah, this is pretty funny. Yeah, don't sniff the tennis balls fresh out of the can. I'm just scrolling to see this. Yeah, I would highly suggest you guys don't do any type of non-normal substance before any tennis match, especially if you're in high school tennis. Oh, dude. I would totally swing that way for Safin, Sky Excalibur. No doubt. I'm hetero as well, but man, that is a good looking dude. I mean, I'm questioning myself right now. Should I make an emoji on my Discord channel about Safin? I kind of feel guilty I haven't yet. The thing is, like, here's the thing. I highly respect Nadal. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He just doesn't... I know he's actually a really smart guy, right? Very smart, very humble, very hardworking. He doesn't strike me like an intelligent human being. It's just... It's weird. So this is a good one. Where, you know, this is towards Safin's, like, you know, latter parts of his career. But he just whacks the ball. You know, he's 6'4". This guy is taller than, like, point guards in the NBA. And he moves so gracefully. It's nuts. He just goes berserk here, I think. Because of how big he is, he makes that, his racket, which obviously is 93 square inches, he makes it look like a toothpick, especially on that two-handed backhand. He's a freaking giant. He same client. I know it's a different string setup. He just wants to try the Alu power. I mean, it's his string. Like, I get paid the same. So yeah. Oh, intuitive tennis. Yeah, it's that Eastern European accent, I think. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He's a damn good tennis player. And even a better coach, I believe. He's doing a very good job. I haven't noticed Babrinka, but I mean, you know, Babrinka looking extra thick. I mean, dude, it's quarantine, you know, in all of 2020. You know who got really thick? Ronich. My God, he's a log right now. That is a thick boy. His serve is massive. Even bigger than before. He's got to stop eating pizza and Taco Bell. I love pancakes, Skyry. I love me some pancakes. Yeah, I mean, male tennis players, you know, they're physical specimens of being attractive. I mean, you know, you're as a male professional tennis player. I'm assuming Zach Brown, you mean, you know, a male professional tennis player. You're expected to be like 6'1", 6'2", maybe a little bit taller. You're not supposed to look like Milos Raonic when it comes to physical shape, but also, you know, you're supposed to have, you know, basically a six pack because you're not supposed to be bulky as hell, and you're supposed to have nice legs. So, you know, obviously, that's Jeez, Permander, no chill. No chill whatsoever. None. All right, let's draw a lot of rackets today. I will give credit when credit's due. I like the silver of Luxlon Alu Power. I think silver is a pretty classy color. That's why I like the Solinco Confidential. The look of it, it's, you know, a little charcoal. Everything's black nowadays. It's not hard. You know, everything's black, so it's hard to distinguish. And then the Solinco Hyper G, way too bright. Way too bright. Solinco Confidential is a little bit more low key. Love that string too. Yoel Ori, I did review the RPM Blaster off. The spin is really good, but my god, is it stiff. It's so stiff. The RPM Blast rough was, sorry, the RPM rough was extremely stiff, yeah. I did review it, Permander, correct. Yeah, Zach Brown, exactly. RPM. No, the RPM blast, it wasn't too bad. It was actually relatively soft, but the RPM rough, yeah. Yoel, I'm serious. Try the ISOSpeed baseline control if you get your hands on it. It's such a good string. It's literally 8.5 times cheaper than RPM Blast. Let me see what strings I actually have left for my personal stuff. Oh, dude, Rainier tennis. Squats and lunges are like the best thing for tennis. Other than the biceps, obviously. I mean, but seriously, leg workouts are amazing for tennis. And getting on a bicycle too, like an indoor bike, it's damn good. So I'm actually out of Solinco Hyper-G, and I'm I'm out of Solinco Hyper-G and Solinco Confidential. So, damn it. It's gonna cost a lot. No, I'm not out of baseline control. I'm out of Solinco Confidential and the Solinco Hyper-G. Ah, Chorch won. I wouldn't expect that. I think Curious would have beaten him. I guess Chorch is grinding it out. Is it okay if I drink in front of you guys? I've had a really long day. Just a nice glass of whiskey. Is that okay with you guys? Get wasted on a Thursday night with a bunch of strangers? Why not? Chug, chug, shot, 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 shots. On a Sunday night. Yeah, Sierra Nevada Hazy is good. Ron Lovulet. The real question is, would you have it on a Sunday night? Okay, I'm gonna transfer this over. I'll think about it, Skyry. Skyry, why don't you email me and we could set something up for drinking. I'd be more than happy to play along. Just email me so we could set something up. Because I don't want to start setting something up on a live stream. I don't want to waste everybody's time. So, this is my main camera, right? So, there is... Oh, that's cool. That is the tripod that it was just on. And now I'm going to put this camera on here now, which is completely out of focus because I want to test it out. So we're going to do basically a transplant. Thanks, Yoel. My man. Thank you for the $10. Much appreciated. Super chat alert. I keep on forgetting the Super Bowl is a thing. It's the NFL. Yoel, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to win the Australian Open? On a Sunday night. Man. Okay. There we go. Ooh. Talk about the blur. even do on a Sunday night. Man. Yeah, that Elliot impersonator guy is actually really freaking good. He's got the accents down and the mannerisms pretty damn well. He got famous with Rafa, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I can't even do it. There we go. I feel scared it's gonna fall over. Ugh. Maybe it should be taller. Oh, because it's zoomed in. There we go. Nice little vlogging thing. I'm glad I bought that. Little bokeh effect. Let's see my Taco Bell sponsor. All right, thanks, Yoel. Cheers. Oh, I want Tomic or Kyrgios to win. Or team to win the men's singles. Yeah, I'm gonna make so many jokes when I review that Your Bedroom Punk. I'm gonna cream my pants every time I hit it with the ISOSpeed cream. What's the Discord VC? I have my own Discord. I'm usually there a lot. I'm there probably like once an hour during work hours because I'm kind of bored at work. Don't tell my boss that. Oh. Yoel. You are going against the greatest quarterback of all time. Yoel, I will bet you a shout out that the Buccaneers will beat is it the Chiefs? Yeah, the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm on voice chat every now and then. Zach Brown. Okay, so Ron Lovialet, Kokonakis is just banging people's girlfriends, apparently. That's what Tanasi Kokonakis is doing. But apparently, so can you imagine if the stars aligned and Kyrgios and Tomic were on opposite halves of the draw and they met in the finals? Yeah, Skyrie, I could make one. That's not a problem. Oh, Super Bowl 49, was that against the Falcons? I forgot. I knew someone that literally grew up in Atlanta, Georgia for the first like 10 or 12 years of his life. And he's a grown man. Like he's a year older than me. He literally cried. He cried when the Falcons lost. Tomic? Zach Brown, it's Tomic, right? Or is it Tomic? I thought it was Tomic. I thought it was... How am I pronouncing it? It's Tomic? I thought it was Tomic. Okay, I apologize. I could have sworn it was Tomic. Bernard Tomic. Bernard Tomic. I'm confused now. Tomic? Tomic. Let me listen to this. Counts millions.
You go do what I did. You go make 13, 14 million. Good motivation. You know, being out there playing. You know, I think it's my 8th Wimbledon already, and I'm 24 years old, still very young on tour.
It's so cocky.
You know, a little bit on board out there, and you know, just got to find a sort of way to get back and you know, enjoy tennis again. And you know, people think it's a amazing life. You know, we are making millions of dollars.
Tomic.
Jeep, listening to rap music. He seems to not have a care in the world.
We're gonna have a race.
But it's been the toughest of weeks.
It's tough to find motivation, you know. I felt a little bit bored out there.
He is one of the best players on the world, but he doesn't put in the work ethic. He doesn't put in the hours.
This gifted athlete has infuriated the greats of tennis.
If you can't get motivated at Wimbledon, it's time to find another job.
He's too rich too early. It's quite as simple as that.
And disappointed his fans.
I couldn't care less.
Unless he gets fit, he's a finished product.
Time is running out.
He's reached a crossroads in his life.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why Bernard Tomic has...
Bernard Tomic. I'm sorry. She said it, right? I apologize to everybody here.
Crossroads in his life.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why Bernard Tomic has...
Okay, I apologize. I've always said Tomic. Even on a Sunday night. I've always said Tomic for some reason. I think it's kind of like with the Djokovic thing. Because early in Nole's career, before he went on his anti-vax bullshit, people, at least in the United States, or, you know, the Western part of the world, they didn't understand how to pronounce Djokovic's last name. It was Djokovic, I've heard, in the mid to late 2000s, but now it's cemented as Djokovic, not Djokovic. So again, I apologize. You're right.
Has agreed to sit down.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why Bernard Tomic has...
Okay, Tomic, not Tomic, not Tomic, Tomic.
agreed to sit down with us.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why Bernard Tomic...
Okay, so someone said it earlier. Zach Brown, you're right. It's Tomic. It's like Thomas, but Tomic. Okay. All right. No, Djokovic. Djokovic. Okay. I still got to make that shirt. I have the print, but I haven't had time to actually call someone to actually print it. So I hope you guys appreciate my humor, and that's probably half the reason why we're here. So Ian Morris, you just jumped on. Have I talked about the difference between RPM spin control, RPM spin max, and spin and feel? RPM blast, RPM. Can you rephrase that question? Because I'm not following. I don't know of a string called RPM blast spin control. Shapovalov. Shapovalov. Or Shapovalov, right? Shapovalov or Shapovalov. It's one of those two.
Right now on Pat Rafter Arena, men's singles action. Please welcome from Canada, Denis Shapovalov. Right now on Pat Rafter Arena, men's singles action. Please welcome from Canada, Denis Shapovalov.
Sorry, it's I had to re-plug in the mic. Skyry, if you want, again, email me this idea. Email me and I'll make the logo. And I'll put it on my Discord if you want. Let's see. What's another good one? Oh, you guys remember when what's his face? Nalbandian kicks the linesman? This was like the Novak Djokovic. This is actually like, to be honest, this is like the Denis Shapovalov eye incident before the Denis Shapovalov eye incident.
So I might just hold on a fine. So I might just hold on a second. But I think Nalbandian, when he'd been pulled out wide on the return, has taken a swing, and if it's his racket that has hit this gentleman here.
Yeah, that's he's disqualified.
We've got a champion here in Marat Cilic, and now
that's game over.
Serious trouble.
That's bad. He's bleeding from the shin.
Question what has to happen here. That is such a shame.
Yeah,
it wasn't malicious. It was one of those things. But now Bandian had been. So
here's the thing. Right? He obviously didn't mean to do it, but the issue is he did do it. Right? It's this is my personal opinion. Right? When it comes to Djokovic, when it comes to the Denis Shapovalov hitting the umpire in the eye, and this, they obviously didn't mean to do it. Right? Obviously, everything I've said, most of what I said is absolute sarcasm. But the issue is, they, as a professional athlete, need to learn how to control themselves, right? It's their job. It's their job for stuff to that. It's their job for stuff like that to not happen. So, it's unfortunate, but
has taken a swing, and if it's his racket that has hit this gentleman here.
Yep.
Oh, it's all over.
Yeah.
We've got a
done.
champion here in Marat Cilic.
He even said, the commentators even said, we got a champion here in Marat Cilic. It's unfortunate because Nalbandian apparently is a really nice guy. I've talked to people that have interactions with him on the tour on a somewhat regular basis, and obviously that was not Nalbandian's intention. Nalbandian meant to kick the sign, which obviously,
on the return, has taken a swing.
Just
if it's his racket,
a piece of plywood. Good job, Nike. Just do it. Yeah, just do it. Just kick the line judge.
Gentlemen.
This moment brought to you by Nike.
Here.
Boom.
Oh, it's all over.
Just do it.
We've got a champion here.
So it's unfortunate. He obviously didn't mean to do it. Nalbandian did not mean to do it, but yeah, it's part of life. I have never, Ian Morris, thank you for rephrasing. I've never, ever heard of a string called RPM Blast Spin Control and RPM Rough Spin Max. So you might want to check out and see if that seller is like legitimate. RPM Blast spin control. Okay. Yeah, there's no RPM Blast spin control. They're probably, so Ian Morris, like it's Amazon. So Amazon, by the way, guys, never ever buy tennis specific stuff off of Amazon. Because although Amazon has literally changed online retail, like there's no doubt about it, no matter how much you hate Jeff Bezos, he's done an amazing job with leveraging technology and scalability to change how everyone in the world shops. But unfortunately, they are so big and they don't have enough manual intervention to like screen very sport specific stuff, like in this case tennis strings. So according to Tennis Warehouse Ian Morse, there's no such thing as RPM blast spin control, and there's no such thing as Babolat RPM rough spin max. What they probably mean is RPM blast and RPM rough respectively. But because they didn't make that distinction as a seller, I wouldn't trust them. That's kind of a red flag to me. Yeah, clothes are good on Amazon. Amazon, and you know, this is definitely more of a business question. Amazon has done an amazing job stomping all over Kohl's Corporate, and Kohl's Corporate is actually in the state of Wisconsin. Kohl's will always be a company, but they're not what they were, I would say even 5 years ago, because Amazon has absolutely penetrated without mercy, remorse, or protection. Amazon has absolutely penetrated men's fashion. Actually, I got this Taco Bell shirt from Amazon, like no joke. So, you know, I'd rather buy this men's long sleeve beefy Henley shirt off of Amazon instead of going to a physical Kohl's store. As you know, this is even before this COVID situation. Cheaper. Yeah, buy off-brand stuff for your bedroom punk. What's up, Ethanito?
Alright. How's it going, guys?
We'll struggle with your last name.
Ron Loviolette, that's kind of a weird question. I don't know. You're asking if there's ever a woman in the WTA wearing a thong in competition. Obviously, me being a male and not having female parts, I don't know what it would feel like. I can't imagine that being comfortable. Yeah. Oh yeah, AWS is making a killing on Amazon right now. I think they had I think there was a recent announcement on news that when Jeff Bezos steps down as CEO of Amazon, the president of Amazon Web Services will become the president of Amazon in general. That's a huge empire. Huge empire.
In so many different ways.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with that issue? People mispronouncing your last name?
Yeah, it's been like that all my life, but my parents have prepared me. They told me that people are never going to get my name right, so I don't get upset at it. It's pretty funny, the different ways I hear people pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, it's not that, it looks intimidating on paper, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot of O's and A's, and yeah. Now my nickname that I probably prefer is Chapo. I hear a lot of fans call me that. It's you know, it stands out, and yeah, it's pretty.
So I understand where he's coming from, right? So it's one of those things where, yes, he's absolutely right. You know, you look at this on paper, you're like, what the hell is that? What Eastern European country did he come from? And I believe he is from Russian descent, or definitely Eastern European descent. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's, to me, I've never had an issue pronouncing Shapovalov or Shapovalov, you know, depending on where the accent falls on a vowel. So it's one of those things where my last name is very different, obviously. So in case you haven't noticed, most Filipino last names tend to be Spanish last names because of the way the world history kind of panned out, where Magellan and Magellan's crew from Spain was the very first to circumnavigate the globe, and then around halfway through their journey, they landed in the Philippines and discovered the Philippines, where a lot of awful things did happen. So it was kind of like forced assimilation, to where, you know, they're going to have Spanish last names because, you know, of a dark history. So most Filipinos that you're ever going to come across, they're going to have very Spanish sounding last names like Velasquez, Flores, very Spanish sounding last names, and there's a reason for that. So I'm one of the very few Filipinos that I know, actually might be the only Filipino that I know that has truly a Filipino last name. So my last name, if you actually want to pronounce it correctly, is Sensait, right? It's so this is how you spell my last name, right? But if you really want to pronounce it correctly, which I don't even do now because, you know, we're in America. So like Sansa from Game of Thrones, it. Sensait, right? Or a better way to kind of visualize this is kind of that. That's like how you truly pronounce my last name in the native tongue. But, you know, growing up in an all Catholic school, which was, I was literally the only non-Caucasian in that school, I just kind of got sick of it. So I'm like, you know what, just Sanset. Just, that's close enough. So I always go by Mark Sanset, right? But back in the day, when I was growing up, and, you know, when my parents were talking with other Filipinos, they always say Sensait. That's typically how it goes. So I can speak Tagalog. It's hard for me to speak Tagalog, but I understand Tagalog very, very well. So if you were to speak Tagalog to me right now, I would translate that by second nature, and that automatically in my head translates to English, and I would reply in English. So back at home, or whenever my parents come to visit me, what happens is they would talk to me in Tagalog, and I would reply in English. That's how my family dynamic works. Yeah, your bedroom point. Yeah, Sensait. Exactly. Concerning, I actually like, I prefer dry fit, but I don't mind wearing cotton clothes. That's not an issue for me. And luckily for me, I haven't really changed. I mean, I used to be 180 about 3 years ago. Now I'm around 160, and I used to be as skinny as 150 even right after college. But luckily for me, I never had an issue with clothes, right? So my short size, you know, for tennis or anything athletic, is anywhere I could either wear a medium or a large. Shirt size, I could either wear medium or large. It really doesn't matter. So it's never been an issue for me, but I know people out there that have changed their body types, you know, given what they've been through in life. You know, it's a little bit different. So luckily for me, I've never been too picky on clothes. And luckily, as a guy, I don't have to worry about, you know, any type of bust size or any other dimensions for athletic wear. So I've always been blessed with that. And yeah, luckily my nipples don't chafe either. Apparently that's a thing. Permander, one of the best consumer-friendly tennis shoes I've ever worn is the Gel A6 Resolution 8. The A6 Gel Resolution 8. They actually are the longest-lasting shoes I've ever worn in my life. So try them out. They're not perfect. I would say they're either the second or the third best shoes I've ever worn in my life. But given you are paying about $130 to $150 for, you know, a pair of shoes, whether or not you're paying it full price or a slight discount on an online retailer, they last a very, very, very long time. So I would highly suggest Gel Resolution 8. A6, obviously. All right, guys. It's been a long stream because I strung 3 rackets and I was going through memes. So it's been a pleasure, guys. So thank you very much. This was probably the best part of my day, not just because of the alcohol. You know what? Why not? I'm gonna regret that. Holy shit. No, it's fine. Everyone has weird questions. Oof. Woo! Better get off stream before that bourbon hits me. All right. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down in the section below. And click like if you haven't already. I stream Tuesday, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. And as always, guys, happy hitting.